All right, Champions League night, Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona, two giants of European football, and at stake, a berth in the semi-finals. And heading into the second leg, it was Barcelona who were ahead with their 3-2 advantage. Clearly, PSG already on the back foot heading into this one. And the clash had the perfect setting. Camp Nou, in the city of Barcelona. The Spanish city was all decked up for the marquee clash. It was a big game, and the fans were sensing it. Rowdy fans of both Barcelona and PSG all under one roof, and even before the game started, there was mayhem. Fireworks outside the stadium. PSG fans chucked flares at a bunch of Barcelona supporters. The Spanish riot police resorted to violent measures to pull the sparring fans apart. Take a look. All of that clearly setting up for the big encounter. And clearly this one was going to be nothing short of a battlefield. The excitement and nervous energy from the fans was really seeping into the stadium. Barcelona had the edge heading into this match. They had a slender lead, so the pressure really on PSG was from the very first second of the game. And it didn't start well for the Parisian club. Barcelona's first leg hero, Rafinha, continued his good form. The Brazilian scored in the 12th minute and put Barcelona in a dominating position. Even the loud PSG supporters grew silent right after this. They were now trailing 2-4 on aggregate and all set to lose out here and make way for Barcelona to head into the semi-finals. PSG needed something special to win from here. And some luck too. That came for PSG in the 29th minute. Barcelona's Ronald Araujo was handed a red card and Barcelona were down to 10 men. That angered Xavi Hernandez to no end. He let out his frustration on that decision and that mood spread through the camp. This showed that Xavi and Barcelona were really a bit rattled by this, and that is all that PSG needed to stage their comeback. Ousmane Dembele and Vitinha's goals brought back PSG to level with Barcelona. But with 30 minutes left in play, Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain needed a star to seal victory for their sides. PSG supporters who had gone silent a few minutes back came back to life. Both sets of fans were buzzing and hoping for their team to get across the line. In that tense moment, both the sides needed one player to rise, to shine, and one miracle, one final push. And it was PSG who held their nerve. And who stood up for them? French striker Kylian Mbappe. Just like he brought France back into the 2022 World Cup final with his hat-trick against Argentina, Mbappe rose at the biggest platform. But unlike the 2022 World Cup final, where France lost to Argentina on penalties, here in the Champions League quarterfinals, his team ended up on the winning side and eliminated Barcelona from the Champions League quarterfinal. Mbappe brought all the rage for the payback back, for when Barca ghosted and muzzled him in the first leg to score not once, but twice. His performance came after he was criticized for his abysmal show in the first leg, so clearly the youngster delivered when it mattered the most. Pretty odd calling him a youngster. I know he's been around for a while, but people forget he's still just 25 years old. His gameplay may say otherwise, but he's still a youngster who has achieved a lot in his footballing career, and his performance against Barcelona is another milestone chapter in that career. He delivered the reverse La Remontada. For once unfamiliar with this term, back in 2017, these two teams, PSG and Barcelona, were involved in a similar face-off. It was the Champions League round of 16, and the outcome of the match-up was called La Remontada. Remontada, of course, a Spanish word for come back. We'll set this one up for you. In the first leg of that clash, PSG were ahead of Barcelona, and not by just some margin. They were leading 4-0 in Paris. In the second leg at Camp Nou, Barcelona pumped in 6 goals. The Holy Trinity, Messi, Neymar and Suarez leading that charge, and took Barca into the quarterfinals on a 6-5 aggregate. Quite a comeback. That's the reason the game was christened La Remontada. And here, after 7 years, PSG returned the favour and exacted their revenge. So fair, let's call it a reverse La Remontada, a super clutch move by Mbappe, who really comes good under pressure to put Barcelona in reverse gear and get PSG to press on the accelerator. What a comeback story. But there is one common hand engineering this revenge script. He did it on both instances, for Barcelona in 2017 and now 7 years later for PSG. It is the PSG manager Luis Enrique who helmed the affairs for Barcelona back in 2017 and couldn't contain his excitement.
¿Cómo me siento? Me siento contento.
How do I feel? I feel very happy. Very happy. I think my team deserved it throughout. We have been in the game at all times, and we started in a spectacular way. It is obvious that the expulsion plays an important factor, but everything, and the fact that we played against a team for much of the game with one less man, you have to know how to play this type of game to avoid making mistakes. I think the result is fair.
El resultado es justo.
That's some achievement for PSG, and especially for Mbappe, who showed the world that if you put him down, he will rise and fight. You give him pressure and he will soak it in and deliver the goods. You push him away from a title and he will do everything he can to try and get his hands on it. Just like the Champions League. He hasn't won so far. It's the one major title he doesn't have, a title he's gunning for, a dream that he has cherished and built since he was little, and all of just 25 seems to be at the cusp of realizing it finally.